Every road ends to a whole new world. On the 6th day of my acclimatization, my body had finally begun to accept the thin, biting air of La. The army's routine early mornings, slow climbs, hydration drills, and endless checks was now behind me, and ahead of me waited my true destination, Kargil. That morning felt different, as though the mountains themselves were whispering, "Ab tum tayar ho, अब तुम्हें हम अपनी असली दुनिया दिखाएंगे." At the taxi stand, destiny gifted me a lifelong friend, Shabir. He wasn't tall, barely 5 feet, but there was something towering in his simplicity. Innocence shone in his eyes, and his voice carried a warmth that melted the cold of Ladakh. With folded hands, he greeted me. "कैसे है सर? लो, इतना सामान है, मुझे दे दो. आप आराम से आगे की सीट पर बैठ जाओ, थोड़ा सो भी लेना." I smiled. "नहीं शबीर, मुझे सोना नहीं, मैं ये सफ़र जीना चाहता हूँ, हर एक पल." And so, we began our 4 to 5 hour odyssey, a journey that was not just about miles, but about stepping into another world. The Hall of Fame, echoes of valor. The very first stop as we drove out of Leh Airport was the Hall of Fame Museum, a 2-storied shrine of patriotism built by the Indian Army. Inside, time seemed to stand still. Captured weapons, torn uniforms, and handwritten letters of Pakistani soldiers, each artifact screamed stories of sacrifice, courage, and heartbreak. On one wall, the immortal war cry of the Ladakh Scouts was etched, "Ki ki so so, ki so, ki so Ladakh." I felt goosebumps rise. This wasn't just a museum, it was a heartbeat of every soldier who once bled on these mountains. Pathar Sahib Gurudwara, a saint's blessing in the Himalayas. As we drove further, Shabir's eyes twinkled. "Sir, भूख लगी है? चलिए, आपको एक जगह ले चलता हूँ." Suddenly, on the right side of the road, rose the golden gates of the sacred Pathar Sahib Gurudwara, built in memory of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Shabir slowed the car. Legend says that in the 16th century, Guru Nanak Dev Ji was meditating here when a local demon rolled a massive boulder down the hill to kill him. But when the rock reached Guru Nanak, it turned soft as wax, leaving the imprint of his body. Defeated, the demon realized the power of divinity and surrendered. Even today, that very rock, the Pathar Sahib, is worshipped inside the Gurudwara. Soldiers, locals, and travelers bow their heads here before moving further into Ladakh's treacherous roads. We entered, and the air filled with chants, "Jo bole so nihal, Sat Shri Akal." Langar was being served, simple but soulful. A warm plate of dal and roti tasted like a blessing. With hearts full, we set off again. As we rolled further on the serpentine road carved between mountains older than time itself, Shabir suddenly slowed down. With a glint in his eyes, he pointed to the right. "Sir, अभी आपको एक और जन्नत दिखाता हूँ. ये है फे विलेज का इंडस व्यू पॉइंट." We pulled over at a small clearing, and the world around me shifted into something dreamlike. Before me stretched the Indus River, flowing with a calm dignity, as if carrying the memories of civilizations in its silver blue waves. At this height, the river looked like a giant turquoise ribbon, cutting gracefully through the barren brown mountains, its shimmering surface reflecting the crisp Ladakhi sunlight. The viewpoint was quiet, only the sound of the wind brushing past the prayer flags tied nearby, their reds, blues, and yellows fluttering like messages being carried to the heavens. The stillness was broken only by the eternal song of the river below, a sound that seemed less like water rushing and more like the gentle hum of an ancient hymn. From here, the Indus appeared endless. On one side, it hugged sandy banks dotted with patches of green fields where hardy villagers coaxed life out of this desert. On the other, sheer cliffs rose like sentinels, their shadows falling protectively over the sacred river. I stood there, mesmerized. This wasn't just a river, this was the Sindhu, the lifeline that had given birth to an entire civilization thousands of years ago. To watch it here, raw and unbroken, was like staring directly into history's soul. Shabir joined me, his voice softer than the wind. Sir, लोग कहते हैं जो इंडस का असली रूप देख लेता है ना, उसके अंदर भी एक नई दुनिया खुल जाती है. यहाँ खड़े होके लगता है जैसे इंसान छोटा है और प्रकृति सबसे बड़ी. And truly, in that moment, the clutter of my thoughts melted away. The journey was no longer about reaching Kargil. It was about discovering these hidden worlds at every bend, each one opening a door inside me. Standing at the Indus viewpoint of Fay village, I realized sometimes the road doesn't take you to a new place, it takes you to a new self. The magic of Magnetic Hill. Sir, Shabir said mischievously after a while, अब आपको एक जादू दिखाता हूँ. We stopped at a barren stretch of road surrounded by lifeless brown mountains.